What's up, everybody? It's Ian from Savvy Zen. I'm up here hanging out with some wild horses, if you can see them behind me, up in the meadow, reading, doing yoga, hiking around, writing my book, enjoying life. Today I'd like to talk about why not to do yoga in the morning. Yoga in the morning is traditional, right? You're supposed to do things when you first wake up, write, do yoga, get it out of the way. Look at my last article and video, why to do yoga in the morning, and I discussed those things. But there's an inherent disadvantage when it comes to certain elements of the yoga practice. The outright one is that the body is not flexible, and it may be unhealthy to do it within 2 to 3 hours of waking up. Your body needs to be, your body after sleeping for 8 hours is not hydrated. It also hasn't been moving at all. So when I get on the mat if I get on the mat at 4, 5, 6 a.m. right after I wake up, I'm like 60-70% of the flexibility, but I'm also not as hydrated, not as aware of like what's going on, and my muscles aren't as loose, so I'm like hitting the tendons and ligaments more. You don't see gymnasts or other contortionists or other people up in this realm who are doing their practice at 3, 4, 5 a.m. They maybe do a light morning practice with some dynamic stuff, and then the main workout is somewhere between, I guess 11 and 6. Actually, if you have a normal circadian rhythm, if you wake up at 6 a.m., your highest coordination is at 2 p.m., and your highest strength levels are at around 5 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m. I've always, if anyone's ever been a weightlifter, that's the perfect time to do it at 5, 6 p.m. That's when you're strongest. If you do it other times, with weights, it's so easy to tell. It's like, okay, I can't do this. I did this last week. Why can't I do this, right? But with yoga, it's a little bit different, right? But getting on the mat later in the day really makes you more flexible. No ifs, ands, or buts. People will say, well, that's not real flexibility. Real flexibility, you should do it and be able to do it at all times, but I don't think so. I suspect that a lot of this stuff about doing yoga in the morning has to be involved with the cold aspect of yoga. Being in a cold is not bad. I'm in the Ashtanga cult, I'm in other cults. But when you look at the definition of a cult, that's not like, some crazy religious organization, but break it down to elements like isolation and conformity and other things, which I'll go over another time in probably 2 or 3 weeks on a podcast, then you start to see you're in a bit of a cult, right? You have to eat a certain diet, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and go do things even though that might jeopardize your body. That's a little bit weird, right? But when we transcend that and we stop caring about those things, we can do what's best for our body and our flexibility. So if achieving awesome yoga poses is your number one priority, then don't be practicing in the morning. Maybe in the morning, wake up, do some dynamic leg swings, move around, get the body pumping, then do a pranayama meditation session. Get that out of the way for the day, because you meditate and do pranayama better after like a workout, after some form of a heart rate increase. Then later in the day, focus on a large yoga and inversion session, right? That will do so much for you. When I do my Mysore classes, sometimes I've done them all times, but right now my current teacher is at 8 a.m. or 4 p.m. It's a world of difference with what poses I can do and how I feel after. I also, the other big thing is that exercise actually isn't the best for mental benefits. You'll hear everyone talk about cardio exercise and everything else, but if I do yoga practice and go try to write my novel, I'm only 70-80% there. If the real method, in my opinion, is wake up early. This is for me. Work hard on my novel or a book or a blog for 6-7 hours. Take a break for a while, eat a meal, read, do some light stuff, do some managerial stuff, maybe post things, right? And then do yoga. Then at night, maybe do some revisions and some other stuff, right? Because So that's a great thing about doing yoga later in the day, is that the first part of the day you're fresh, you can be 100%, then the last part of the day you can feel that drop off and be tired and stuff from the workout. Also, after a workout, you usually eat carbs. You know, if you're on the ketogenic paleo plan, then maybe you're not going to need as much, but if you're a vegetarian, that's basically all you eat. There's no protein, you don't got no ketones, right? That's cool. I feel pretty good when I'm a vegetarian or vegan. But if you're on that ketogenic, if you're about that keto life, then you could not need carbs after a workout. You can just put some fats in and a little bit of protein and not get the brain fog, not get anything else. But most people like to have carbs after their yoga sessions, so they're going to feel a bit of a drop off, a bit of brain fog. That's going to take probably 2-3 hours to get back to that level where you're feeling good and can get into a flow state of sorts. So those are the real big reasons. Timing is also another reason. Like I said, when you're waking up at 4 or 5 a.m., your social life kind of eats crap, right? We don't need to sacrifice these things for a yoga practice. I prefer to wake up early for my novel and other things because it's so rigorous of a task. Writing and doing these videos like this is kind of draining. You don't know, it's different every day. You don't get to show up at the job and do something the same. There's no necessarily routine in the mind, so I really try to create a routine in the body of like sitting down and doing this, so like my body can adapt to like the sitting and the mental pressure a little bit easier. Anyway though, check out the accompanying article in the link that's on savvyzen.com. Subscribe to the channel, check out the Decoding Yoga podcast, like this video, share it on social media. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.